All right. Hello, everyone, this afternoon. I'm got a new uplifting stories again. This is from Seven Short Inspirational Christmas Stories to the Center Your Heart on a Real Reason for the Season. So the first one here is called Short Inspirational Short Story about a Christmas Miracle for a Baby with No um, Chance of Living. So on this story, it says here, brain dead baby Caleb Crook with zero chance making miracle recovery in time for Christmas. Last year, Becky and Phil Crook were planning a funeral for their brain dead baby Caleb, but when they removed Caleb from the life support, the unimaginable happened. Now, more than a year later, they're celebrating Christmas with their little miracle. By all accounts, Becky's pregnancy seemed perfect. She her husband Phil and their daughter Eden eagerly wait for arrival of the family's newest addition. But when the labor came on, it came on fast. There wasn't enough time to get to the hospital, and Becky wind up delivering Caleb at home in England. And that's when the couple realized there's something was terribly wrong. Caleb was delivered, but quickly saw that he was pale, floppy, and not breathing. Becky recalled after rushing the newborn to the hospital where Caleb was placed on the life support. Now, Becky and Phil received horrible news. They still have no idea how, but somehow during their pregnancy or delivery, Caleb suffered severe oxygen starvation. Now, the doctors told me that there was minimal brain activity and that there was no hope for his future. Becky explained. Doctor transferred Caleb to hospice care with the intention of removing life support. Now, Caleb, heartbroken's parents were left making the end of the life plans for their 10-year-old son and saying their final goodbyes. But doctor told us Caleb had um, brain damage and that he would most likely die immediately. But Becky said, "We are told he would only live for a few minutes. So I hold him so tightly in my arms. But God had another plan for this little angel. He sent Becky and Phil a ray of hope. When doctors turned off the life support, Caleb gave my finger a faintest of squeeze and looked up at me as if he says, "It's going to be okay, Mommy," Becky recalled. Against all odds, the brain dead baby expected to die did the complete opposite miracle. Caleb survived. The Christmas miracle. The special miracle spent more time fighting and getting stronger in the hospital. And while Caleb does have complex special needs as a result of severe brain damage, Becky and Phil and little sister Eden are just so thankful for the time they have with him. Now, 15 months, Caleb is going to get to spend Christmas at home with his family. It's beautiful and unexpected blessing. This is our new normal. This Christmas is a Christmas we never expected to have, Becky explained. Caleb now can be with us, experiencing the joy of life against all odds. Our hope is that Caleb will experience happiness and peace in whatever capacity he is capable of. We want him to be know how loved he is. Oh, God knows how long little Caleb has here on earth, but he has purpose for Caleb. Caleb's family is bursting at the seams this year, celebrating the amazing Christmas gift God gave them to Caleb. No one knows what the future holds for Caleb. At the moment, he's choosing life every day and defying the odds, Becky says. We had no idea we still have him with us today. He has beyond everyone's he met. He is a true living miracle, defying all the doctor's explanation. Caleb Cook celebrate his second birthday, August 2009, and still defying the odds. There you go. That's a miracle itself. All right, the next one is the history of true meaning of a Christmas tree. Let me get to that one. Here's a look at the history of the true meaning of Christmas tree. Here's everything you know about the true meaning of Christmas tree and how it evolved through history. As the holiday gets closer, more and more decorated Christmas trees can be seen twinkling through the windows of homes across America for generations. Adoring the tree has been a holiday tradition for families across many nations. But how did this tradition begin? Well, how does the evergreen represent the Christian tradition? Where did the tradition of Christmas tree begin? And does it have a pagan origin? Well, ancient pagan origin of the Christmas tree tradition. In ancient Egyptian tradition, many celebrations occurred around the time of winter solstice, which is the shortest day and the longest night of the year. The Egyptian believes that this was when the sun god Ra returned in strength. Now, solstice symbol lies a time of renewal and hope. To celebrate, the people filled their homes with evergreen brought. They choose the evergreen trees because they maintain their color throughout the harsh winter months. Other people groups, including Roman Catholic culture, hang evergreens during the winter solstice celebration and keep away evil spirits. Now, the tradition involves most historian believes Christmas trees originate from a gilder in Freiburg, Germany, who decorate evergreen trees with fruits, tinsels, waffles, or gingerbread to perform paradise plays on Christmas Eve. Those plays celebrate the short stories of Adam and Eve. In the 16th century, they played were banned from the public in many places. This corresponds with the time in which the Christians first began to bring evergreen trees into their homes, celebrate Christ. Families who could not afford decorate trees simply stack wood in celebration of those Christmas pyramids, involving into wood shelves holding figurines, candles, and even a star, eventually paradise trees. And the Christmas tree pyramid merge to become the modern Christmas tree. The tradition remains in Germany until the 19th century, when people began emerging from Germany. The history of Christmas tree legends. There are several legends involving how a Christmas tree came into existence. The first came from the English monk Bonifat. In the 8th century, German pagan were making sacrifice to the Greek god Thor, and Benedictine monk cut down the oak tree where the sacrifice were taking place and convert the islets to the Christianity, according to the legend. Fir tree grew from the fallen oak. Now the green evergreen represents the image of God and new life in Christ. Another legend of Christmas trees stems from Martin Luther. Some believe the Protestant Revolution started lighting candles and trees after walking through the woods on a snowy night. Thought of the moon hitting the snow glistening trees remind him of the light of the Christ that came down from heaven. It is also from experience inspired him to pen the lyric to the 1535 Christmas hymn, From Heavens Above to Earth I Come. History of the Christmas tradition in the United States. Until the mid 19th century, the Christmas tree was seen as primarily a pagan tradition in the United States, but early Puritan settlers did not accept the German tradition, initially because of the Catholic roots. In 1659, a law was established in Massachusetts outlawing celebrating Christmas, exception of the church attendance. Hanging decorations of any kind was outlawed, especially on Christmas tree. As more German immigrants entered America, the tradition became more accepted. In 1848, the London News published an image Queen Victoria and Prince Albert with their family celebrating around their decorated tree. The photo it reprints America popularized the modern idea of Christmas trees. With the glistening lights, shiny bubbles, and waiting presents. Since the 19th century, Americans have embraced the evergreen tree as an annual staple to Christmas cheer. The lighting of the tree at Rockefeller Center, as well in the other hometowns, often symbolize the beginning of holiday season. The meaning of Christmas tree Christians, well, when you think Christmas Day, one of the first image comes to mind is Christmas tree. But what's the religious significance? While there is no overt reference to evergreen tree in the relation to the actual birth story of Christ, believers have attached religious meaning to the only pagan symbol. The choice of evergreen, the evergreen tree is a tree that maintains its color throughout the year. Even in the depth of the winter, evergreen tree shows its life. This characteristic, everlasting in life, represents the life we have in Christ. John 3:16. The shape of the tree, well, its triangle shape of Christmas tree has often been used to reference to Holy Trinity. Matthew 28:18 through 19. To upward pointing branches often symbolize our promise to God. The lighting of the tree, for many Christians, candles or lights on the tree significantly how Jesus come as the light into the world. The star placed on top of the tree represents the star the wise men follow Bethlehem, Matthew 2:9. Presents underneath the tree, for some, presents underneath the tree represents gift. The wise men brought to Jesus, Matthew 2:11. For others, the present represents a gift of salvation we have through Jesus, Romans 3:21 through 22. The cutting of the tree, when the evergreen tree is cut, it is stacked down to the depth, only to be rise to the glory of splendor and decoration of Christmas tree. This transformation of the tree symbolized how just Jesus died on the tree and rise to the new life the third day. Should Christians have Christmas trees in their homes? While most people never really think about the history of the practice of putting up Christmas trees, some Christians do not celebrate the reason with evergreens. How here are the few reasons. 1. Jeremiah 10:1 through 5. The passage of scripture, the Lord speaks through the prophet and tells the people to not adhere to the idealized practice of cutting down trees and decorating them on with gold and silver. Now, pagan historical association, some families do not place Christmas trees in their home because of pagan origin. They instead opt for other decorations such as nativity to remind them the birth of Christ. Distraction from Jesus, some Christians do not place tree in the house because it's the gift of glory takes away from the celebration of the birth of Christ. If we take an honest look at the tradition of Christmas tree, the roots and religion symbolized is not overwhelming represent the birth of Christ, yet the Bible argues against it are not vast either. The principle derived from Jeremiah 10:1 through 5 is not participate in allies. The culture practice of passage happened to be the cutting and decorating of the tree. Ultimately, the choice to celebrate the Christmas tree during the holiday is a personal one. While many people do focus on more than dazzling aspects of celebration, there can be a beauty of symbolization. 1 Corinthians 10:31 states, "So rather you eat or drink or whatever you do all the glory of God." This passage gives you freedom to choose to celebrate the birth of Christ in a way we will connect to God most immediately, yet as we choose in freedom how to celebrate, let us remember to offer grace to those choose to celebrate differently. Hey Cody, how you doing? Courtney Whitney is the wife of the mom of two preteens. She receives her Master of Theology degree from Dallas Theology Summary. After serving a church for nearly 15 years, Courtney currently teaches at a Christian school and writes various Christian ministries. You can find her at her blog, recapturefaith.com. So there's that one. Now let's see here. Let me get to another one. This is this one here. The story behind the Christmas spire and the tinsel on the tree. What does it mean if you see a spider on somebody's Christmas tree? The legend of the Christmas spider and the tinsel is a beautiful reminder to be grateful to God. If you prefer to listen to audio, skip that. So there are so many holiday traditions that have their roots in different cultures and customs, but I never heard the story behind the Christmas spider and tinsel. As it turned out, if you see someone's tree with a spider or spider web ornament hanging on the branches, there may be a hidden reason why that has nothing to do with the tree owner liking the creepy crawlers. Many people use tinsel to decorate their trees. It makes the tree look so sparkly, shiny. You can trace tinsel origin back to Germany in 1610. Originally, tinsel was made from silver, but when the candles on the tree smoked the silver and turned it to black, manufacturers tested and making it out a different metal like tin, lead, and aluminum. In 1950, tinsel was made popular than lights. The decoration of Christmas tree because it was much less of a fire hazard. Eventually, the metal strain evolved into the filmy metallic plastic we know today. Those are the facts about tinsel, but the legend behind the beloved decoration is much more interesting. There are many different versions of the story, which has its roots in Germany, but the basic version of this story is below. The legend of the Christmas spider tinsel. Once upon a time, there was a poor widow living in her tiny home with her young children. One day, the children discover a cast off tree pulled into their home of the holidays. The kids were so excited to have their very own Christmas tree and were so upset when their mother explained that they could barely afford food for dinner, for even much less decoration on the tree. The children understood, so they wiped away their tears as they climbed into bed that Christmas. The tree stood bare in the corner, and the window shook her head. The willow shook her head sadly as herself turned into the for the night. But her household spider had seen the sadness of the children and their mother, so they climbed over the tree that night, leaving indication of webs on their in their wake. Early Christmas morning, the kids called out to the widow's mother, "Mom, come see what happened to our tree. It's beautiful." Their mother rushed in to find that during the bitter night, while they slept, the spider had spun magical glittering garlands all across the tree barren branches. As the family stood and wondered, staring at the beautiful before they realized they had everything they truly needed. They had each other, and that was more than enough. As they prayers of gratitude for their blessing reached God's ears, he reached down and touched their tree, turned the dusty webs into a magical strain of gold and silver, and gratefully the family never wanted for their needs again. From that day forward, it became a tradition for many families to add tinsel to their trees as a way to show their gratitude to God for many gifts he has bestowed upon them. Another unique tradition, I heard the story of the candy cane before I found out why some people hide pickles in their trees, but never heard this story behind the Christmas spider and tinsel before. I'll definitely be reminded to say a prayer of gratitude whenever I see a tinsel on a tree. The stripes, the candy cane legend. Well, look at the candy cane, and what do you see? Stripes that are red, like the blood shed for me, white for many survivor saver, who is sinless and pure. J is for Jesus, my Lord, that's for sure. Turn around, and the staff will see you. Jesus is my shepherd, is coming for me. So there you go. That's why J is for Jesus, not for anything else. Those people who think that shouldn't have look like a J, but it means Jesus in history. So remember, you see a candy cane that represents J for Jesus, my shepherd. All right, let me find another story here. Let's see here. Let's try this one here. Elderly man leaves a 14 years worth of Christmas gifts for a 2-year-old neighbor. Owen Williams, a Wells, always considered the older man next door, Ken Watson, a real character, but after his elderly neighbor left 14 years worth of Christmas present behind for Owen's 2-year-old daughter, Owen likely considered him as a Christmas angel. When Owen and Caroline Williams moved into their home, they soon met their next door neighbor, Ken Watson. Ken was in his 80s, and the new neighbors hit off immediately. They learned Ken had quite the background. He was a former salvage marine diver and seaman, a carpenter, and an engineer. Hold on. And even a baked wedding cake once. Now, Ken seemed just a fond of Williams and regular to dot on the couple's 2-year old daughter, Kanda. Now, he was very fond of Kanda and gave her Christmas presents every year. Her first was a lovely caddy soft toy, which he brought for the whole street as well. Owen recall, so it was a sad day indeed when Ken passed away. But this sweet man had something special stashed away that would keep his memory alive for years to come. The elderly neighbor wows with a 14-year-old worth of Christmas presents. Not long after Ken passed away, Owen heard a knock at the door. There stood Ken's daughter with tears in her eyes, a huge sack in her hand. She had a big plastic bag, which I thought was rubbish she was going to ask me to throw away. Owen recalled, but then Ken's daughter explained the bag contains gifts for the 2-year-old. 14 years worth of Christmas presents, to be exact. She was quite emotional and got a lump on her throat. Owen says, "My wife was on FaceTime with her mom in Ireland. I popped the bag into the kitchen counter, and my wife started to stare up, and I started to tear up, and her mom started to tear up. Their amazement only grew as they unpacked the bag. It was like Mary Poppins' bag. The present kept coming. It was actually unbelievable. Christmas Story even said, a new Christmas tradition." Owen shared his experience on Twitter and quickly went viral. His elderly neighbor kindness touched many hearts, include indeed, and throughout the gesture is one Owen and his family would surely never forget. It's difficult to describe it because it was so unexpected. Owen said, "I did not know how long he put them away, whether it was over the last 2 years, or rather he brought them towards the end of his life." Owen and his wife already opened one of the gifts, a children's book. "My wife and I think it might make a nice Christmas tradition to give our daughter a present from Ken from the next door 14 years," Owen said at first. But Owen and his wife are still figuring out exactly how they were dispute the gifts. There was enough presents in the bag to last Kanda. She turned 16, and most of the items appeared to be children's toys. Either way, it was a beautiful gesture, and I am sure Owen and his family will remember their special Christmas angel will be on 14 years. That's pretty good. So there you go. Um, that's a pretty good miracle there, ain't it? So um, it's just the greatest gift of all time. Hey, Jinx and Jason and somebody else. So there's the Christmas specials America. Hey, Gilbo. Um, Mustang. So thanks for all coming. Appreciate it. And I'll read another story. Find uplifting stories. So thanks those on YouTube and TikTok. I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye now.